Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to have a little look at our self-concept and how to keep a great self-concept through our days and through our lifestyle. So our self-concept, as we all know, is really the foundation of how we manifest the desired results in our reality, because it is our confidence, our self-belief, our trust in ourselves, our validation, and it's all of the foundations of stability that keep us grounded within ourselves, within our belief within ourselves, and how we ultimately show up in our day-to-day reality. So when we are changing self-concepts, we are changing beliefs, and we're changing beliefs about ourselves and about our world and how we see ourselves and how we see ourselves showing up in our world. We are also changing our assumptions around people, places, and things as well too. So when we are changing our self-concept, we are first using affirmations and changing our beliefs. Now, for me, I always listen to affirmations on at the nighttime, because this is the most potent time for our subconscious mind to be impressed, as it is wide awake while we are sleeping. Now, you don't always have to listen to them at night. You can also listen to them throughout the day as well too. Your subconscious mind is awake 100% of the time, day and night. So even if you have affirmations on the background throughout your day doing tasks, or even at a low volume in earphones, and you are still able to navigate throughout your day by talking to people and doing your work, your subconscious mind is going to pick up what affirmations are being said to it throughout the day, even at a very low volume, because it hears everything. So we never have to really worry about the volume, as long as it is up a little bit for the subconscious to hear it. So even if you're someone who cannot listen to affirmations at nighttime, listen to them during the day, because even if you are consciously not taking them in, you can guarantee that your subconscious is. Now, another thing for keeping a great self-concept is having a routine for your day. So I've mentioned this before, a routine for your day can be anything. It can literally just be washing your floor, or taking the trash out, or cleaning your windows, or doing your work, or meeting a friend, or anything that you can actually put into a routine, even if it's just a 10-minute shower, reading for half an hour. All of these things that you can write down on a piece of paper, that is going to fill up your day. What this is doing is keeping a disciplined structure within your mind, and when we are disciplined and we have this structure within our mind, we're feeling more goal orientated, meaning that we feel that we are doing our tasks and we are ticking them off. And as we are ticking them off throughout the day, we are feeling productive. As we are feeling productive, we are feeling like we're engaging with our purpose in life, and that we are showing up in a favorable way, in a disciplined way, and in a productive way for ourselves on a daily basis, which causes us to be more motivated. We don't tend to then fall into anxiety as much, or depression as much, because we have our routine going and we have a focus on getting through our day. So this is another really important thing to keep a great self-concept. Also, there's self-regulation, as I keep going on about, is our tool as well to keep our nervous system regulated, and we do this with our breath work. Now, when I first started doing breath work, I would do it as many times a day. It didn't even matter, as long as I was doing it to keep my anxiety levels or any of my feelings of stress down anytime that I was changing my self-concept. Now, I still do this throughout the day, but before, when I started breath work, I was doing it, oh God, I could have been doing it about 6 or 7 times a day when I first started doing it. But now I keep it to 3 times, meaning that I do it in the morning, I do it once during the day, and I do it once during the night. Now, some days I may not do it the 3 times, but I always do it in the morning, and I always do it at night before I go to bed, because even if I'm not stressed, it's still regulating your system, and it should be incorporated into your lifestyle as well too, for keeping you kind of on top form and keeping you kind of de-stressed in a way as well too. Obviously, meditation is great as well too, but I want to bring up the topic as well of our affirmations. So Our affirmations are really our new thought process, meaning that when we are not affirming for our desires, we still want to be having a good thought process throughout the day of positive assumptions and being optimistic. So if something pops up in our reality, change the story around. So if a circumstance pops up that's unfavorable, find some kind of goodness from it, meaning that you can find a reason for it, and then you can find the solution of how to get out of that circumstance. Because this whole world is a matrix, as you know, so it's really our thoughts that are going to pull us out of anything. So we have to keep redirecting our thoughts even when we're spiraling. So when we are spiraling, as you know, I always say to acknowledge how you are feeling and acknowledge your emotions, but we don't want to be living there either. So we do our self-regulating tools, and we get back onto our affirmations. If we feel like we want to be a victim for 5 or 10 minutes, then do it. Write it out in a piece of paper, as I said before, or just have it out with yourself in the mirror or whatever, but just get it out of your system and then get back onto your self-regulating tools. Because remember, we are creating our world through our own mind. It is only up to us how we are going to experience our world. It's got nothing to do with anyone outside of us, and so we cannot really afford to be living in a victim mentality when it's all up to us to actually create the life that we want. So for me, acknowledging how I feel and then letting it go is the best way, because if I don't acknowledge it, that's only for me. Maybe other people can just override it and suppress it down, but for me, I like to acknowledge my emotions, because when I do, it's gone after 5 minutes, and then it doesn't come back up again, and I feel better, and I'm able to get back onto my affirmations and keep my thoughts and my mind focused on what it is that I am creating. So those things are creating stability in your self-concept. Now, our self-concept is also determined what we think people are thinking about us as well too. So I did this little kind of sketch here, and yeah, I know it's a bit embarrassing, but anyway, it's a little kind of a triangle to kind of give you an idea of, I was going to call it the triangle effect for when we are manifesting a different reality in our world. So we first of all have ourselves, okay? And we're down here and we're thinking our thoughts and thinking our thoughts, and then we are observing our reality through our thoughts. So remember, everything is going to conform. See, I wrote 4D here is our thoughts, and then the 3D then conforms to the 4D, which is your thoughts that you are thinking and telling yourself every single day. So your 3D is conforming to your thoughts and what you think about yourself, and what you think about other people, and what you think about your whole reality in general. And we know this anyway, and that's why we're changing our thoughts. So this part here then, so that's a 3D, and then this part here is, I called it the ego, because I know that the ego is a separate sense of self, but I call it the ego because I think that when we are actually wanting to see people, or we're wanting to show up in a different way, it's always kind of coming down to our ego, meaning that our ego is what is driving us to want to be seen by other people in a certain way. So let's say, for example, we're manifesting to become millionaires or billionaires. Our ego, in a sense, is telling us, yes, okay, it'll be great obviously to have more money and do more things and buy luxury products as well, but also as well too, there can be an underlying unconscious thing where we desire people to see us as rich. So the reason why I call it the ego as well too is because when we are telling ourselves, like let's say for example, we are telling ourselves that we are beautiful, we are stunning, we're gorgeous, and we're saying all these affirmations to ourselves, and yes, we are saying them to believe them within ourselves, but there's also an underlying thing that we want people to say these affirmations to us as well too. So it's kind of coming down to the ego a little bit, because we are separating ourselves a little bit in our desires, because there is an image, it's like a self-image that we are wanting, that we are desiring to be as well too. So that is why I kind of called it, you can call it a triangle effect, I suppose. And so you have yourself, and you're looking out through your thoughts, through all of your positive thoughts and everything that, and your beliefs and everything that you are changing. Your 3D is conforming, but then you have your ego in the back of it all, where you actually desire other people to be seeing you in the way that you desire to be seen. So let's say, for example, you are somebody who's manifesting more to be seen as beautiful. Maybe you're a model, maybe you desire to be more famous, and all of those kind of things. You're going to have this kind of way of thinking that you want others to be seeing you as this famous person, as this beautiful, stunning model. And so this is a kind of a self-concept in itself. So yes, we can be telling ourselves that I am beautiful, I am stunning, and we can be saying everyone sees me in this way, and we can be doing this, and this is what is changing our belief. But to go that little step further, I would be imagining hearing people saying that you are beautiful. So let's say, for example, you're walking down the street and you are a model. You're walking down the street and you are thinking in your mind that I'm a model, I'm beautiful. And let's say you walk past someone, think to yourself that that person is turning to look at you and they are saying that you are beautiful. Because these imaginal acts of seeing people seeing you the way that you desire to see yourself actually raise more kind of excitement within you. And you'll notice as well too, when you do this, people will start to reflect this back to you. Because even before I was I've done this. I do this actually a lot. When I'm manifesting things, and not even just for myself, but if I'm thinking that I want to see a desirable result for someone else, I have imaginal conversations with friends. And I think Nevillegoddard did this with the telephone technique. So you're imagining a friend tell you the things that you desire to be heard. So this in itself is a great way to build the self-concept and to keep the self-concept on a good level, especially if you are someone who finds yourself spiraling a little bit. Just get in and have a few minutes to do this imaginal act where you are thinking, you're actually just imagining that you're hearing people talk about you in a favorable way. So it could be even, let's say you're manifesting a desired relationship. Maybe you're manifesting a marriage and you're affirming that I am married, I am married, I am married. But maybe have a conversation in your head where you are hearing people say, oh yeah, she just got married, or he just got married, and they are on their honeymoon now, and these are the things. So you're imagining other people talk about you in a way that you are married. And it's the same when you are rich as well too. So if you were rich, imagine people in your head, thinking in your head, maybe they're friends, maybe you're just imagining that you are hearing them in the other room and they are saying things like, oh, I'm so proud of so and so, or I'm really happy for them, they have all the money that they want now, and they're living such a lovely life and they deserve it. And all of these imaginal conversations. And this actually really does help when, like, especially if you're not someone who is able to really visualize. Like, I know that we can all visualize once we get our mind into a certain way and we start to bring our senses and everything in. But let's say you just want to have a quick kind of a meditation. Instead of saying I am affirmations, have this imaginal conversation going on in your head. Now, I'm sure you probably do this anyway. I'm sure some of you already do, but it's just part of the whole self-concept thing. It's part of you wanting to see yourself in this whole kind of picture. So you're embodying the whole self-image that you desire to be. And when we are changing our self-concept as well too, for anyone who is changing over into a new self-concept, remember that sometimes it can be triggering, and this is okay. So allow yourself to let those emotions out, nurture yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, and always remember to, when you are being compassionate and loving towards yourself, that this is the way that we want to be with everyone in our reality as well too, because there's a frequency going on here. So the highest frequency that we can attain to is love. So if we want to be in all of these desired realities, they come from a feeling of bliss, of happiness, of peace, of trust, of stability, of validation, all of these kind of feelings that we get when we are desiring to experience what it is that we want. So we want to be keeping our thoughts and our assumptions in line with the person that we are desiring to be as well too. So even if you are saying your affirmations that everyone sees me in this way, if you want to change it around, just create the assumption of hearing these people talk about you in this favorable way. And the more you do this, the more the confidence starts to build up within you as well too. So just a video that I was asked to do on the tips and tricks of keeping a great self-concept. Remember to do your affirmations. You're changing your beliefs. I know that I listen to mine at night, but as well too, you can listen to them during the day. I've done this myself, and sometimes I still do as well if there's something else I want to change and I want to kind of be keeping my mind and my thoughts on practice. As well too, we want to be affirming for our desires through the day as well too. So I would keep my thoughts optimistic and positive as much as I can, and I would jump onto anything. So even if I find that I can't even think of an affirmation, I would just use words of love, bliss, happiness, peace, abundance, because it's all energy, and all of these words are being directed out into our universe, and the universe, as we know, is coming through us. And so we want to be keeping our thoughts as optimistic as we can. Doing the breath work, doing the self-regulation, the meditations, and all of that helps to stabilize your nervous system, nurture yourself. Remember, it's very empowering to acknowledge how you are feeling within yourself. It's empowering to be your own best friend, to be your own nurturer, to love yourself. And it's empowering then when you are able to love yourself so much, you spill that out all to everyone, and you just love everyone else just as much as well too. And then obviously then you're drawing it all into you as well too. So remember that your circumstances are malleable, and they are malleable according to how you are thinking. Remember, we're pulling ourselves out of the matrix through our thinking. So when we are thinking things like I am rich and I am abundant and I am love, also be seeing people in the way that they see you in that way as well too. So these are kind of your assumptions of how people are seeing you as well too. So those are just kind of some tips and tricks that you can do for keeping a great self-concept. And I will be making more videos on our self-concept as well, and I will leave it there, and I will chat to you soon.